On to my second favourite team, the Bad Batch. I'm going to be honest.
Oh.
This one felt a bit like a filler episode. It wasn't outrageously filler. And I maybe what we're going to find out in the next episode is going to stop this feeling like a filler episode. But right now, despite enjoying the episode, it felt like a filler episode.
So I somewhat agree. I would say it wasn't necessarily like a full-on just filler. It was definitely a setup episode. Because there's somebody from the trailer that everyone was very excited to see in the trailer, and we still haven't had arrive yet or make an appearance. And that is Asajj Ventress.
Yes.
And I am almost certain that that is who Fennec contacted at the end of this episode.
That would make a lot of sense.
It would. Especially
and
because
she'd also know what an M count is.
Yeah, she'd understand M count. She'd understand these M count bounties. It would kind of make sense that maybe that's what she's doing, just become a bit of a bounty hunter. We know she's not on either side anymore.
Yeah.
Or potentially she's taking the M count bounties, but then not handing them in. Maybe she's doing something there, like trying to protect these. But yeah, it was definitely a more filler-esque episode, which I think will be okay in the grand scheme of things, because I do think this is going to be maybe the only one, if maybe we get like one other one.
Yeah.
They just needed that way to kind of tie in why Asajj Ventress was going to rock up, I think.
The other thing, and this is just a nitpicky thing, Star Wars animation for a long time has done something that no other show is very good at doing, and I always loved them for it. In Rebels especially, anytime there was a nighttime scene,
I knew I was going.
They made it really easy to still see what the fuck was happening. And they've stopped doing that. And my God, it's doing my head in. Because here's the thing. On a big TV, laying in bed, it probably wouldn't have been a biggest issue for me. Problem is, we've got a lot of shit to watch this week for Thursday night, and everything comes out on Wednesday and Thursday. So I'm watching The Bad Batch on my lunch break today on a phone in a brightly lit room, so there's glare anyway. I'm on a tiny screen, and it's dark as fuck.
I was watching on my computer in this very position, and it was like midday. I had to get up and close my blind.
Because the glare was just making it impossible.
It just, it reached that point where like, I wasn't necessarily getting glare, but like, I was like trying to lean in. It's like, the annoying thing is, most of the start of that episode was fine.
Yeah.
I would even say the part in the swamp, yes, it was dark, but like, it was a red-orange kind of color scheme. And it felt fine. Then suddenly it's just like pitch black. And I don't know if they've messed the lighting up on that.
Yeah. I don't get it. Animation is such a fun art style that we have seen really flourish in the last few years. Why are we trying to light it like it's traditional media? Like it's film and live action? You can make it whatever fucking colour you want. If you make it very clear at the beginning of a show, when everything is bright pink, that's nighttime, no one will question it. They might go, I don't like the style, but they won't question it. They'll see the pink and they'll go, right, cool, it's nighttime.
Well, it's like, the thing is, it's like they could have kept that orangey red up until like he stepped into this praying mantis guy's hut. And then you could have been like, okay, it's a bit darker in there, so you can like have him hidden away in the shadow. But yeah, that even I was like, why are we this dark on an animated show?
It was crazy. But overall, I did enjoy the episode. I know I've just listed two more nitpicky things.
It was,
but it was still a very good episode. It was progressing the overarching story.
Yeah.
We got to see Wrecker just being Wrecker, which I'm always a fan of.
I loved Wrecker going straight primal and just wrestling the crocodiles. Honestly, it was so good.
I really enjoyed Omega and Crosshair.
Hmm. Yes.
Also, is Omega going to end up being force sensitive?
I
Because
don't think
they're
so.
they're interested in her because of her M count and like what she can do for the M count clone situation.
Yeah.
Then she's like, she clearly done a fair bit of exploring. While Kashyyyk doesn't produce loads of Jedi's, we know it's quite a force sensitive place because of all the plant life. That's
Hmm.
why Yoda liked going there, and we know she visited there. Is she
I
like minorly force sensitive?
so I don't think she's gonna be force sensitive. I think we probably will never get an answer to why she's like linking with the M account so much. We know
Yeah,
that she is the same kind of base clones as the others, but they've obviously tweaked and mixed stuff in. I
yeah.
wonder if part of maybe it was Palpatine's initial things where he was getting them to start doing this, or it was just the Camoans were trying to like experiment. I wonder if they've taken some of the Jedi genes and started playing around with like, what if we mix in stuff? Can we make another
Are
like?
you saying that Omega might be Jango Fett and Obi-Wan's love child?
I'm not saying that because it wasn't
I
Obi
think you
Wan
just
who
said that,
commissioned the clones.
but he did go to.
He did, but that's what I mean. Like, it could be that they've been playing around because obviously, like these, like Omega and the Bad Batch are like clones that they've tried something different with.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, she's very much. I liked how we also almost got a Yoda reference with Crosshair when she's like, "Oh, that was close." And he's like, "There is no close. It's hit or miss." It felt very. There is no try. Only do
yeah.
or do not. Um, I love the idea though that Crosshair has to learn to meditate to heal himself.
I love it so much, and it's like it's so Star Wars as well. It's like
Mm.
this is an injury of the mind more than the body. You need to come to peace with everything.
I am intrigued to know why he doesn't. He's clearly hiding something about when he was experimented on. That he doesn't want to share.
Yeah.
So I wonder if it's either during that when they were like prying, like doing tests on him, maybe he leaked some information. And he feels guilty, or maybe there was a point
Oh, that's a good
where
option.
he actually, because of that where he was at mentally, maybe he's feeling guilty that there was a point when he actually wanted to succeed at the tests and be one of those. Because like he's always strived to be, like the Bad Batch have always strived to be the best clones,
Yeah.
and like he wants to be the best sniper. So maybe there was a part of him that wanted it at that time, and he feels guilty for that now. I don't know.
I like the idea that he's released some information he shouldn't have, and he's feeling guilty. So it's like a nervous punishment himself. Yeah, I can see that working. Um, and it is definitely at least partially psychosomatic. I won't be completely surprised if after he like gets over the emotional side of it, we do find out there's a little bit of physical damage there. Um, but it'll be very interesting to see how that arc concludes.
I wonder if it'll conclude with him finally admitting what happened, and then it's like him letting that go is what gets him past the shakes.
Yeah, I mean, in reality, what we're seeing is PTSD.
Yeah, yeah, we
And
are.
it's once again just Star Wars animation tackling the most outrageously complex subjects in something that looks like it's for kids, which is just hilarious and brilliant at the same time.
Yeah. I also really enjoyed Fennec in this because obviously
Yes.
we've had Fennec in Mando, which is a very
Hmm.
different Fennec, and this is like primetime bounty hunter Fennec who only cares for herself, and I kind of enjoyed it. I
Yeah,
enjoyed how she
absolutely.
didn't give a shit about the others. I
I
like
was
the
when I was watching it, I was trying to remember timeline wise if she'd met Boba Fett yet, because obviously this was
no.
prime time Boba as well. So I'm like, are we gonna get
So
Boba?
Boba would still be he'd still be fairly young
Hmm.
and early bound to, because like she mentioned the M count bounties are for like tier 1 bounty hunters or whatever.
Oh, so he's probably not qualified for them yet.
Yeah, so I think Fennec and Cad Bane are like top of the fucking run.
List at the minute, yeah.
And then yeah, Boba would be rocking around, but I don't think she's quite
It
buddy
would
buddy
be
with
cool
him
to
or
see
anything.
Boba at some point, just because he's also a clone and
And like yeah,
interesting.
young. That would be quite cool actually if he rocked up just briefly.
Yeah.
But
Especially since we saw him at the end of the Clone Wars as well. It'd be cool to get like an update on
yeah,
how he's doing.
true. That would be quite good actually.
Hmm.
But I'm looking forward to next week. Hopefully we get this Asajj Ventress kind of payoff and a bit more into learning why like, about this M count, them figuring that out and kind of leading up to clearly Rex and Echo have now gone off to do more research on the facility. It's all leading in that direction of a breakout. Which I'm kind of looking forward to.
I'm pretty sure, but I'm just gonna double check. I think not next week, the week after is another double bill.
There is like a mid-season double bill.
Yeah, episode 10 and 11 on April 3rd is a double bill. So next week is called The Harbinger, which definitely is an Asajj Ventress thing.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get an episode of them tracking down Asajj or whatever.
Or she's going to come find them.
Yeah, and however that episode ends leads into a double bill.
Which in which case then Sarge's going to show up because she's going to come look. I got the sense that the way Fennec talked, she's like, oh, you'll be able to find them, so she'll go find them herself and rock up. They're going to find out about M count and why it's so important and why they want Omega. They're going to contact Rex and Echo. This will be into the double episode. First one will be them contacting it. They figure it out. Then there's going to be some initial heist or like something's going to go down to set up the second half of the season. Very exciting stuff though.
Yeah, I'm so ready for it.